On one of his birthdays, when we still lived in Valencia, I get up to go to work, and then he lets me know that his mom and his aunt are coming into the city to take him to breakfast for his birthday. I felt kind of, I guess, sad. I didn't understand why I wasn't invited. And it wasn't a one-on-one. If the aunt is invited, then how come his wife isn't invited? But that's whatever it was. I'm just saying that had I known that they were coming into the city, I would have taken off work to go to the birthday with him as well. But I wasn't invited, and that's just what it was. I went on to work. Once I came back from work, I guess they ended up going to IHOP. He said it wasn't that good. I don't know, but whatever. And then he was showing me that his mom had bought him a watch. And it's like, okay, well, got a watch. But but then he's like, oh, but you should see the one she gonna get you for she got you for your birthday. You should see that one. And I was in my mind, I was like, what? Why would she get me a watch for my birthday? It was just so weird to me that he would say that. Like, like one trying to scan over that he got a gift, I guess, and two, it just was weird. It was just weird. Why she would need to get us the same gift. Needless to say, when my birthday came, I didn't get a card, a watch, or anything else. But it was just like, why would he say that though? And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, if it's like, I guess he thought I would be jealous. And he said that before. He thought I would be jealous. So when I'm thinking, why would I be jealous that your mom gave you a gift on your birthday? It sounded so illogical, irrational, just, but that's his mindset now that I look back on it. And it reminds me, now that I'm talking about it, um, of a time within our first year of marriage that his brother had proposed to his then fiance. And they were all at a football game when it was announced that he had proposed to his fiance at that time. And dude never told me anything about the proposal. So a week later or whatever, when I'm having a conversation with his mom, and she's asking me about, what I thought about the proposal or whatever, or did I know about it or whatever. And I'm just like, oh no, I didn't even know. And so then she gets on me and said, oh, you guys don't communicate. And I'm just like taken aback, like, what you mean we don't communicate? We don't communicate because he didn't tell me something? That is not something that I would know to ask. That is not something. How does it become my responsibility because he didn't tell me something that he found out about his family? And then so when I went to him, I said, well, how come you didn't tell me about your brother's proposal? And he says, oh, I didn't want you to be jealous because you don't have a ring. Okay, so you didn't buy me a ring for this marriage, and now we already got married without a ring. Your brother proposes with a ring, the right way, in my opinion, and you don't tell me because you don't want me to be jealous? Because you thought I would be jealous? No, it's not that he thought I would be jealous. It's that he may have thought I was going to be jealous, but I don't think like him. But it's more that he felt ashamed that we already married and he still never got me a ring. So that was still his internal stuff. As I look back through more and more, think back on more and more of our interactions, conversations, and things that happen, I'm realizing that he had a lot of junk that he put off on me as a me issue when it was not. And at that time, I just was caught up in a confusion and not understanding that it was him and not me. It was him and not me. It was not protection of my feelings or anything like that. It was more of his own guilt and shame that he wanted to transfer onto me as if it was a my issue when it was not a my issue. Um, and again, it's illogical, irrational concepts. Jealous that someone else got a ring. No, I'm happy when people get married and engaged. I definitely wanted a ring, but it's not for me to be mad that somebody else got one. That was kind of crazy. His mother getting him a gift on his birthday. Why is there a reason to be jealous? Again, I did feel left out when I wasn't even invited to this birthday breakfast. I didn't know why it had to be just a private him and his mom and aunt situation, but it's okay. Um, if that's what they wanted to do, it just seemed a little weird because I know that if more than one person was coming to take me on a breakfast, then I would have invited him and I wouldn't feel guilt because I got a gift. But in hindsight, if I did go somewhere and he was not invited, he felt extreme anger about that. And it wasn't even nothing a get back because you did this. It was just this situation doesn't call for you to be there. Or it's all female stuff. Why are you coming? Or it's just time for myself, and that's fine, you know. And he should understand that, just like the times that he had time for himself with his family that didn't include me. And if I didn't get many gifts, I didn't have family members to give me gifts. So it wasn't a situation where I got a gift and he didn't get one and he was feeling jealous about it, to my knowledge. But just through my healing and looking back on things, I'm realizing all the sickness and ways about him that were quite off kilter and did not make sense, and definitely was not the perception that I was living in within the actual reality of life and that relationship.